Okay, I'd like to call our regular village board meeting to order. If you all please rise and join me in the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge
allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Please call the roll.
All right, President March?
Here.
Trustee Maravka? Here. Trustee Sluse?
Here.
Trustee Jones?
Here.
Trustee Hudson?
Here.
Trustee Bowden?
Here.
And Trustee Sturba?
Here.
All right, any public comments?
Hello,
Hello.
Ed Nelson on the 8th. This Saturday, I guess it's May 14th, I've loosely organized the first golf cart meetup for Archie's ice cream at 2 o'clock on Saturday. Anybody with a golf cart, just come on up there. Kids, if you don't have a golf cart, ride your bikes, walk, drive, whatever. Have some ice cream, meet some new people, look at golf carts. Come on out.
Cool. What time?
2 o'clock,
Okay,
Saturday afternoon.
perfect.
All right?
Thanks.
Thank you.
Anybody else?
I'm Mike Stone. I am a resident here of Peatone, but I'm here representing Aqua tonight. I didn't see anything for Aqua on the agenda, so I wasn't sure where you would like me to give
Okay.
some updates, so I can take a seat if you'd like me to.
You know what, it's not, usually we put in the staff reports, but I see that it got missed there, so, let's go ahead and we'll listen to you right now.
Okay, all right. Okay, great. So I just have three things I want to give you an update on. One, I don't know if anyone has noticed an increased awareness of the chlorine smell in the water in town. So a little background on that. Well 3, which is on Rathje Road, that well is out of service right now for some repairs. So well 4, which is on Lincoln Street, is a primary well. And due to some difference in the chemistry of the raw water and the way it reacts with the chlorine, the smell that we're smelling now is not a result of an increased chlorine feed. It's just the chlorine that we feed doesn't bind with the water the same way, and you notice it when you can smell it when you turn on your tap. So I just want to give an update that chlorine residual is the same as it's always been in our system. It's just that it's more noticeable to the nose. We do have a schedule to get that pump back in service in well 3. Tentatively, that they should be out there the week before Labor Day weekend. What was that week? That is well, the end of May. We're anticipating it being back in service by June 1st. And after well 3 is installed, so the pump is installed, we expect that chlorine smell to dissipate. So that's just a little update on that chlorine smell and well 3 here in town. The second item is our hydrant flushing. We're going to be doing our hydrant flushing probably in the next 4 weeks or so, and that's going to coincide with us getting well 3 back up and running. And so we'll give, I think Angie will reach out and give notice of that as well. And the third item I have is just an update on the I-57 water and sewer extension. That project is approximately 80% complete. The water main installation is progressing right now. I've been informed there's a small holdup on the sanitary sewer, working through some conflicts on the developer's side of things. But that is going to be resolved soon. And so those are the brief updates here for Aqua. I take any comments or questions in.
I do have a question.
Yeah.
With the chlorine that doesn't bond, like you were saying with the other water, is it still safe to drink?
Absolutely. And to go into a little bit more detail, the Illinois EPA requires that we have a chlorine residual between 1 milligram per liter and 4 milligrams per liter of the water, and we keep that about 1.5 to 1.8 milligrams per liter in the system. And if it was much higher, that smell would be even more noticeable. So we are aware that the odor issue is very real to people, and we're sensitive to that. We're trying to maintain that good residual in that sweet spot.
What's the ballpark idea when we're gonna have aqua water?
I don't have an answer to that. I know they're working with the EPA to get that permitted and to get the final approval. Our engineering team is working on that. I actually work at the water treatment plant, so I'm a little out of the loop on those details. But I know Angie and Tracy, our our engineering manager, they're working with EPA on a weekly basis to work that out. So I don't have a good time frame for you.
Are there any specific reasons that it's not flowing through to the EPA yet?
Not that I know of. I'm sure Angie or Tracy could answer that better for you. I can have them follow up with you.
Another question I have, what's the approximate time for when they dig up the street and dig up the parkway until they come out and restore that?
Sometimes it's weather dependent, but normally it's probably within a week. Is there a location that you have in mind?
Oh, there's one on Sumner that I'm aware of, and
There's a sidewalk on West Street too that was dug up that needs to be done.
and I've heard a few people kind of complain about the quality of the restoration work. Kind of rough. I had a deal in Grant Park, and I thought it was going to be a war zone, and they came out within 2 days. You never would have known it was. So that was fantastic. But some of these have been a little rough.
Okay, noted. I'll make sure to pass this along.
Any other questions? Okay, thank you.
Okay, thank you.
Thanks, Mike.
Have a good night.
Thanks. All right, no other public comments. We'll move on to consent agenda. On the consent agenda, we have the minutes from our April 25th meeting. We have the payroll and accounts payable for the pay period ending 4/30. The payroll total was $49,085.32. Accounts payable pay period period ending 5/6/22. From the general fund, $34,228.94. The motor fuel tax fund, $19,818.10. And from the business development district fund, $2,327.34 for a total of $56,074.38. We also have approval of our updated zoning map. We haven't approved an updated zoning map in a couple of years. We did some annexations and there's been some zoning changes, so we wanted to get that in a map. So Robinson prepared that for us. That was in your packet. Also on the consent agenda is approval of a liquor license for the Peatone Chamber of Commerce for a one-day liquor license for 2 days, basically for that Friday and Saturday, June 17th and June 18th. And then also is a request from the Chamber of Commerce to waive the fees for that liquor license and amplifier permit. Are there any items on the consent agenda that trustees would like to remove from the consent agenda?
Can I, since I wasn't here for the April 25th, I was just gonna say present for that anyway, but can I approve everything else? Okay.
You can,
Well,
yeah.
Or should we waive that
Yeah, you
one?
can't,
Pull it out?
Yeah, you can.
Or just say present for all of it?
right, well, actually, you don't have to abstain, as long as you've reviewed the minutes and you feel like you're comfortable that Karen did a good job, you don't have to abstain.
Okay.
Okay?
Yes, thank you.
There was a couple corrections to the minutes. There was a note that, in Aqua's report that said that the service line replacement was on hold for the rest of the year. It should have said it's on hold until they got a permit and a bond. And then in my report, there was a note about the tree planting that's coming up this Wednesday. And we're meeting at the library. In the minutes, it said the Public Works Building. So with those corrections, we can approve that. All right, so I need a motion to approve the consent agenda.
Motion. Second.
Moved by trustee Jones, second by trustee Hudson.
Okay, roll call vote. Trustee Jones?
Yes.
Trustee Hudson?
Yes.
Trustee Marevka?
Yes.
Trustee Sluse?
Yes.
Trustee Sturba?
Yes.
And trustee Bowden?
Yes.
Okay, motion carried.
Moving on to staff committee reports. Administrative Oversight Committee had a meeting last week.
Yeah, we met last Thursday. We got
meet the new treasurer, Anne Marie, which was nice. She's been reviewing the financials, and she came to us with a couple different recommendations, consolidating some of the several bank accounts that we have into one bank, a few bank accounts, but we don't need a bank account for every department. Develop a cash flow analysis and try to make sure we have ample liquidity, but then also move some of our other funds into more of an investment account and just basically consolidate our resources and get those things earning some interest now that interest rates are going up. And then finally meet with our advisors and get that money moved around and start earning some real money, earning some real interest. So it was nice. She had a really nice fresh approach to it. She had some good experiences from some of her previous jobs, so it was nice. I came away very confident in her moving forward.
Questions? Yeah, administrative report?
I just wanted to remind everybody at the Bullet Drive in August. We just had it today at the fire station, and not all the appointments were taken, but there's quite a shortage, and we'll do one again in August 29th from 1 to 6 at the fire department in Pianto.
Engineering, Troy could not be here tonight. He sent a couple of notes that I will read to you. The release from last year's MFT project is on the agenda. After this, the project will be all paid out. The Wilmington Road sidewalk construction is ongoing. The Auburn storm sewer, they just need to get ComEd to come out and brace a pole. But I think we got some good news on that last week that they will be doing that, right?
Mm-hmm.
So that project hopefully will be getting started soon. Robinson Engineering is designing the 2022 resurfacing project, which will be Garfield and Mill Street and also Penny Lane. They did some pavement cores on Penny Lane due to uncertain existing pavement and base structure, so they can determine the proper design. The Railroad Street parking lot is still on track to go out to bid in a few weeks. Their internal quality control took a little longer than usual. And it's better to catch these issues at the end of the design than in the field. Hopefully by next meeting I'll have more info about bidding this project. Okay.
I have a question.
Yep.
With the Garfield Street, Penny Lane, and another street, can we make Aqua aware of what we're gonna be doing, and they can do whatever they need to do on those streets if they're gonna put in mains or be cutting?
Right.
So we don't have that overlap?
Yep, I made them aware of this year's project, so they were gonna get back to me if there was anything that they needed to do. So.
Good.
Police chief report, we do not have one. Public Works or Treasurer's report, we don't have either. And that moves on to my comments. I just have, I wanted to thank everybody who showed up for the cleanup on Saturday. We got a lot of trash picked up along Route 50 and Corning and Joliet Road, and so thanks for everybody who came out for that. Couple things coming up. There is the tree planting on this Wednesday. I would encourage any resident or anybody, trustees, come on out and help. We've got 50 trees coming from the Morton Arboretum. So that is going to be at 9 a.m. at the library. There's a open house at the fire station on Joliet Road on Sunday. I believe that starts at 11 a.m. and goes to about 3 p.m. Besides being able to see all their equipment, I think they're going to be doing some presentations there on the upcoming consolidation vote. The 21st, so a week from Saturday, right, is the Aloha Summer Car Show. So that'll be our first car show. That's going to be in downtown Peatone. The following Saturday, or Sunday I should say, is the Adopt a Soldier Ruck March. And of course, our annual Memorial Day services will be on Memorial Day the 30th. I do not believe they're doing the parade anymore. It'll just be the services at the cemetery. All right. On to old business, we have none. New business, the first item on the agenda is a public hearing on the appropriation for the Village of Peatone from April 1st, 2022 to March 31st, 2023. So as this is a public hearing, I need to call this to order and ask the clerk to call the roll.
All right, roll call. President Mudge?
Here.
Trustee Marevka?
Here.
Trustee Sluse?
Here.
Trustee Jones?
Here.
Trustee Bowden?
Here.
Trustee Hudson?
Here.
And Trustee Sturba?
Here.
Okay.
All right, and I'd like to acknowledge that we did publish the public hearing notice in the local newspaper, the Vedette. And what we are talking about today is our 2022-2023 appropriations. So this basically kind of sets some limits on what we can spend. This comes out of our budget document that we approved a couple meetings ago. This doesn't obligate us to spend this money. It just gives us a guideline on how much we can spend. So, for instance, the total of all expenditures is $10,252,000, but we're not going to obviously spend that much. It's just all the contingencies that may happen. You know, if we get grants, we want to put that in there, so that's why there's some large numbers in there. So that is that. With that, are there any questions or comments by the public?
I got a question.
Yes?
How are we percentage-wise at getting grants? Like when we request a grant, are we successful half the time or 3/4 of the time? Or I know
Yeah, it's hard to,
there's also a skill to requesting a grant. Is
Right.
there,
yeah, well,
do we know somebody that's more skilled than others that can request it?
right. So, for instance, you know, we got a couple of grants, you know, small ones for our tree planting. We were successful getting those. You know, we don't usually write those grants in-house. It's usually our engineering firm that helps us out with that. And also, like for the grant that we did for the downtown, which, you know, we're still waiting to hear on that. That was done by our consultants, so they're very familiar in how those are done. So I can't give you an actual, you know, it's hard to give you a percentage, but, you know, I do know that you won't get one if you don't apply for it.
Exactly.
So, you know, we keep trying. And one of the things that hurts us a little bit, and this is kind of just a side note, is because we have that large sum of money in the bank from the aqua sale, you know, a lot of times they'll look at, you know, need, and they say, well, why don't you spend your own money?
You got a lot of money, why do you need ours?
Right, exactly, so.
Let's hide that money.
Yeah. All
I've got a
right,
place.
yeah. Any other questions, comments? If not, I'll entertain a motion to adjourn the public hearing.
Motion.
Second.
Moved by trustee Marevka, seconded by trustee Sluse.
All right, roll call vote. Trustee Marevka?
Yes.
Trustee Sluse?
Yes.
Trustee Jones?
Yes.
Trustee Bowden?
Yes.
Trustee Hudson?
Yes.
And Trustee Sturba?
Yes.
Oh.
All right.
Motion carried.
Next item is a motion to approve and authorize the village administrator to sign the collective bargaining agreement for the period April 1st, 2022 through March 31st, 2027 between the village and the operating engineers, Local 399, representing the Public Works employees. There was a slight correction in the contract that was included in the file. There was something left out on the last page about the duration of the contract. The last line, it should say, in the event that such notice is given, negotiations shall begin no later than 60 days prior to, and it was left blank, it should say the expiration of this agreement. All right, so I need a motion to approve.
Motion.
Second?
Moved by trustee Sturba, second by trustee Maravka.
All right, roll call vote, trustee Sturba,
Yes.
trustee Maravka.
Yes.
Trustee Sluse,
Yes.
trustee Hudson,
Yes.
trustee Jones,
Yes.
trustee Bowden.
Yes.
Okay, motion carried.
And the next motion is approve and authorize the Village of Peatone to accept the recommendation letter, an Iroquois paving invoice payout to final and final waivers of lien for the 2021 MFT Street resurfacing, which was on Wilson and North Street project with MFT funds for the amount of $19,218.10. So this is the final payout for the work that was done last year, and everything seems to be in order, so we're going to authorize the final payment.
Motion.
Second?
Moved by trustee Hudson, second by trustee Sturba.
Okay, that would be trustee Hudson
Yes.
and trustee Sturba. Okay,
Yes.
roll call vote, trustee Hudson,
Yes.
trustee Sturba,
Yes.
trustee Sluse,
Yes.
trustee Jones,
Yes.
trustee Maravka,
Yes.
and trustee Bowden.
Yes.
All right, moving on to item D, ordinances. This is ordinance number 22-08, approving the appropriation for the Village of Peatone, Will County, Illinois, April 1st, 2022 to March 31st, 2023. So this is the board approving the appropriation ordinance that we just had our public hearing on.
I'll make that motion.
Second?
Moved by trustee Bowden, second by trustee Sluse.
Okay, roll call vote, trustee Bowden,
Yes.
trustee Sluse.
Yes.
Trustee Maravka,
Yes.
trustee Hudson,
Yes.
trustee Jones.
Yes.
And trustee Sturba.
Yes.
Motion carried.
All right, moving on to another ordinance would be 22-09. Ordinance approving a variance for the allowable signage at 363 North Harlem Avenue, or that's Terry's Ford property. So if you, just, what variances are they actually? Is it just the electronic,
It's just
Thank
just the electronic
And the-
messaging board.
the size and all that is,
That hasn't been, yeah,
that's okay?
yeah.
Right. Would you like to say anything, Dave, or?
No, it's just a very similar sign to what Drolley has and what Mantino has. The top will be fixed, backlit neon, and then the message will be underneath it. It's 16 feet tall. The signage portion is combined about 8 feet at the top. And it's replacing a sign that was originally there. I don't know if you remember, but there was
Yeah.
actually a ground sign there, which really isn't visible because of the way the contour of the land is. So that's why we've elevated it.
Any questions? Okay. Let me entertain a motion to approve ordinance 2209.
Motion.
Second.
Moved by trustee Sturba, second by trustee Jones.
All right, roll call vote, trustee Sturba,
Yes.
trustee Jones.
Yes.
Trustee Maravka,
Yes.
trustee Sluse,
Abstain?
okay, trustee Hudson,
Yes.
and trustee Bowden.
Yes.
Okay, motion
And trustee Sluse, just for the record, you have a conflict, is that why you?
I work for them,
Okay, very good.
so I assumed that's what I needed to do.
That is correct.
She does a great job.
We already said yes.
All right, moving on to resolutions. This would be resolution 22-R06. Resolution authorizing the execution of agreement for services between the Village of Peatone and Lakeside Consultants. What we are proposing here is, since we've had trouble trying to hire an individual to do our part-time job of code enforcement, we decided to entertain having professionals do it on a contract basis. Our budget this year for that position was $18,000, and the agreement that we have is gonna be capped at that. So we're hoping that we'll be able to use them throughout the busy summer and fall months. And then, you know, we'll have something to go by if it works out. You know, something we can possibly increase budget next year and have them work year-round for us.
I got
So-
a couple of questions.
Yeah,
Are we gonna pay them 18,000 automatically, or are they gonna bill us on a per-hour basis?
it's a per hour basis,
Right.
right?
So it could be less than 18,000 throughout the year.
Yeah.
And the question is, I see they're in Warrenville, are they gonna bill us from the time they leave Warrenville till the time they get back to Warrenville, or are they gonna bill us from the time they're actually here working?
Well, they're here, so maybe we can ask them to address
Yeah,
that.
it'll only be when we're here in town,
No-
no
no
travel
travel
time,
time.
no anything like that.
And then in addition to like building codes and stuff like that, are they gonna be measuring grass and making sure garbage cans are behind the front of the house, or
No,
what is
this
the
is-
scope of their?
This is code enforcement, not
Strictly-
building code.
It's strictly property maintenance, not building code. Safe Build's still doing building code review and plan review, inspections for building. This is just code, property maintenance code, and possibly some zoning review as needed. Being cognizant of our budget, I think when I talked to the company, the owner, we'll probably be looking at 2 days a week, just to start, and see how that works out. But yes, the focus will be on the things in this brochure, the grass, the parking, you know. just make-
Non-conforming residents.
Yes, paint, chipping paint, the garbage cans, things like that.
Abandoned houses.
Mhm.
And I don't wanna be skeptical, but I know we need that stuff done.
Mhm.
$50 an hour to me seems excessive to have somebody out there measuring grass and telling people to put their garbage cans behind. And I know we had no response, or very little response, at $15 an hour, but
No, it was higher, that was 18,
18,
yeah.
but it's still a big spread.
Mhm.
Was that for a full-time person also, or
No,
part-time? Yeah.
part-time.
But the cap is still gonna be 18,000 for them
Mhm.
as well,
Yeah.
okay.
Yeah, I agree, you know, that is a large number to pay somebody, but on the other hand, you know, these people have credentials and, you know, like I said, I think it's worth a try for a season and see how it works out. If it doesn't work out, we can always go back to advertising for somebody,
But we gotta do something.
but we gotta do something.
Yeah, for sure. So it's an $18,000 experiment that
Right.
hopefully is successful.
Yes.
Yeah.
And to be honest with you, if everything works out with them, we may consider switching to them to do the building code as well, since we haven't been real happy with Safe Build recently.
Good.
And then, so I just got the services agreement tonight, so if it's okay, could part of the motion be subject to attorney review and approval, and I'll get Amy any comments tomorrow to forward
Perfect.
to them.
Sounds good.
I think it's a great proposal. I'm excited.
Okay. All right, then I'll entertain a motion to approve Resolution 22-R06 pending attorney review.
Motion.
Second.
Moved by trustee Bowden, second by trustee Sluse.
Okay, roll call vote, trustee Bowden?
Yes.
Trustee Sluse?
Yes.
Trustee Maravka?
Yes.
Trustee Hudson?
Yes.
Trustee Jones?
Yes.
And trustee Sturba?
Yes.
Questions of the press?
None at this time.
Any other correspondence from the board, communications?
Prom is this weekend, and it's on Saturday, and they're gonna have an open house for post-prom. I'm not quite sure about the time yet. I think it's like 5 o'clock after the kids are already gone to prom, because it's a surprise. They're not supposed to see it until the night of, so, look out in the newspaper. I'm sure it'll be in there to bring your little kids to come see what post-prom's all about.
That's at the high school.
It's at the high school,
Yep.
yes.
All right. So nothing else, entertain a motion to adjourn.
Motion.
Second.
Moved by trustee Sluse, second by trustee Maravka.
Okay, roll call vote, trustee Sluse?
Yes.
Trustee Maravka?
Yes.
Trustee Hudson?
Yes.
Trustee Jones?
Yes.
Trustee Bowden?
Yes.
And trustee Sturba?
Yes.
Thank you.
All right.
Craig Blanchett.
Oh, really?
So the main thing I need is what?